I remember the day that my son had a mass on his brain. Hi, I'm Keith Shea, father of Landon Shea. Okay, so Friday night, or on a Friday night, Landon came into our bedroom at midnight crying with a headache, saying, holding his head, saying, make it stop, make it stop. So we tried, being a dad, thinking, oh, it's just dehydration. Drink some water, take some Tylenol. About an hour into it, he was more or less in the fetal position, just asking to make it stop. So I knew at that point something was wrong. So we took him to Thunderbird Hospital and asked the doctors to do a CT and MRI, and they ended up doing a CT. Within a matter of 15 minutes coming back showing a mass on his brain. From there, they said you have an option to either go to another Banner hospital with the neuro team or to Phoenix Children's. So obvious choice for us was Phoenix Children's Hospital. We went, so they said, well, the next choice is we haven't treated your son yet, so we could transport him by ambulance or you could transport him yourself. So I decided to transport him myself. First we went home. And a really hard part was to wake mom up and tell her that her son has a mass on the brain. So, of course, mom starts to freak out a little bit. And another hard part with her was telling her she had to suck it up. Because Landon was in the house. He ended up sneaking up to our room at that point and saw mom kind of real emotional. And then another hard part was telling her she had to stay home. She could not go to the hospital with me and with him because we still had Blake, our youngest son, sleeping. So she had to call her mom and wake her up. And on the way to the hospital, I had to call my dad. When we got to Phoenix Children's Hospital, we walked in, and without even barely walking through the doors, they looked at us and said, "Are you Landon Shea?" And I said, "Yep." They said, "Come with us." We didn't even check into the hospital. With being in the hospital, within 15 minutes, he was in an MRI. And that's when it hit me. That's when it hit me that I knew my son was in trouble. Being a dad and being that helpless was tough. We did the MRI. Why he was in his MRI, the ER doctor came in and said, the whole neuro team has been called in. And we thought we were going to have to go do emergency surgery. End up staying there all weekend. And Sunday, the last day we were there, they said if we can't get the headache under control and the mass under control, then we will have to do emergency surgery. They came in, like 10 o'clock on Sunday morning and asked if they could try a new experimental drug that helps with masses, and we said sure. Literally, in a matter of 2 hours, his pain level him being in the fetal position, going from a 10 down to a 7, down to a 6.5. And just every 15 minutes we were asking, how's it feeling, how's it feeling? So was able to get this headache under control. They released us later that evening, and then we ended up having to go do surgery 2 weeks later. Kind of backtrack a little bit, there was a time that weekend the wife and I, we didn't get much sleep at all at the hospital. I did go home to take a shower, and I hadn't had a chance to really cope with any of the emotions. Literally, I was driving down Greenway and I called Pastor Jeremiah and just literally cried out to him saying, I need Jesus. So thankfully he picked up and prayed over the situation. And the God that we have, just working his miracles that he does. A couple weeks go by, we had this surgery scheduled. The surgery was a success, and they were able to remove the mass, and God worked that miracle for us. It's not over for us. In his MRI, they found 9 more spots in his brain that we don't know if they're ever going to grow like the first one did. So we're constantly on alert, constantly praying about it, and just lifting him up to God to work those miracles on a daily basis.